Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Carter, one of your district technology coaches. I'm here today to talk about some flipped classroom basics. Um, Before we get into some of the real specifics, we want to pose the question, what is the flipped classroom? So, when we look at the flipped classroom, this is a recent instructional model that is only been around for about 5 to 6 years total. The flipped classroom model is basically taking the instructional part of a lesson, turning it into homework, and doing that extension activity in class. So, what's that look like? So, that could be let's take a look at a Google Classroom lesson. So, for this lesson, it was very important that they watch their Nearpod lesson at home. So when they came to school, they would end up having this knowledge already. So let's just say this is Monday night's homework. They would come to school and they would work on their extension pieces in the lesson. So they would have opportunities for doing things that would not come with a regular model. Similar here, whereas the homework was to watch part of this movie, and they would do the response pieces with me in school. So let's go back to our PowerPoint real quick. So we're talking again about taking, the instruction that happens during a lesson, making it homework, and bringing all the extensions back to, the classroom. All right. So when we look at this from a teacher point of view, let's go teacher first. We get to be able to have the opportunities to support students with a better understanding of these concepts. So we can actually do more practical stuff. So we lose in a 45-minute lesson, we could potentially be saving 20 to 25 minutes of instruction and taking that out of there. Now, also, when our online lecture is done or the video or the instruction materials, are done, it can be used as many times as the teacher wants. Less time at the copier. You're delivering the flipped classroom model digitally for student access. This is more freedom to spend time with the students. You're able to, if you have more students with higher needs, you have already essentially taught your Tier 1 and Tier 2 students, so you can spend more time with Tier 3. It also offers parents the possibility of seeing into the classroom. The kids are working on the instruction at home, and that allows them to see what's going on in the classroom and be a part of the discussion. From the student point of view, we have less frustration with homework. That's a big thing these days. They get additional time and really maximizes the time for the teacher where they can ask questions. When you are in that lesson after it's been flipped, you have the possibility of letting organic conversations in discussions just go. Whereas in the past, maybe you had to focus on getting through more content. And lastly, absences. Absences are now taken care of. All this material is posted online. A student who's out for any number of reasons have access to the material and can stay on their studies. So how do we build a flipped lesson? Well, flipped lessons happen with a variety of tools. Usually you're talking a screencast, kind of like what you're watching right now, where you're going over the content, you're modeling, you're displaying, Now maybe you're going to use YouTube, Khan Academy to do the instructional part, and that's fine. But if you go to select a movie or to make a movie, let's talk about a few things that you want to be aware of in terms of what's a best practice when it comes to flipped classroom. We want to make sure it's the appropriate length. The format you should use is about 1 to 1.5 times per grade level. So a fifth grade video is going to be about 8 minutes, and just scale up and down from there. Practice, clear. You want to make sure everything, the audio, visual, instructional, there is no ambiguity to what you want. Just like we got to hook them in person, we got to hook them on a video. And available. Make sure your links are open to the public. Make sure they can see them. All of that stuff. Some of the resources that you could potentially use, these are to make your own videos. Screencast-O-Matic, there's Screencastify, Show Me, a Doc Cam, iPhone camera. There's applications to capture iPads and iPhones. You can, as I mentioned, you can also use things, Learn Zillion, Play Pause It, Edpuzzle, Khan Academy. These are all key things. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is make sure that you put some sort of assessment piece. Now, one of the reasons why I like Edpuzzle is it checks them for understanding when they watch the video at home. So that's Play Pause It, same thing. Big fan of those tools, okay? Whether it be Google Form with a couple of quick questions. Now, if we are doing in-person learning, there are going to be times that you're going to have the student to watch the video with you, okay? It's going to happen. You're going to need to maybe get some flexibility when it comes to the videos. Maybe you got to put some videos on flash drives for certain kids who may not have internet access but have a device that'll play it. Talk to me about what those specific scenarios are, and I can help you plan around them. But the goal of this video overall was just to talk about the model, okay? Show you a little bit of what one could potentially look like in terms of our assignments, okay? We have a lot of digital assignments in our computer science classrooms, and they are created in the flipped classroom model. Now, this is only meant to give you a bit of illuminate the model for you. As you look to use this model, it's going to require some additional research and maybe some additional time with one of your friendly instructional technology coaches. Please let me know if I can support you in any way. Have a great day.